Let's try now. It's not letting me go live. I'm gonna have to try it again, and then I'll send you another link. Wait a minute, we are live.
Oh, we're
Oh,
live.
whoa,
Oh.
whoa, whoa! Here we are. Here we are, Fashion Dolls. Welcome, welcome, welcome to an all new episode of Style by Stevie. Monday, January 12th, and we are back with my amazing colleague. Now's the time. You guys know him and love him. Your favorite dynamic duo is back, and we're going to be diving into all of what has been going on throughout this week from Minnesota. But I want to start off with now's the time where New York. Zoran is already, y'all's new mayor is already doing what needs to be done. We have seen videos of him going inside people's apartment complexes in New York and going and looking where there's a lot of damage to see what needs to be fixed. He signed some bills and legislations so that people will not be raising the rent on people in New York. Tenants in New York, like literally, this has been a thing, affordability. So how y'all liking y'all's new mayor?
Hey, the mayor is going to do exactly what the mayor's supposed to do. When I guess you have a mayor that is coming from a perspective of like putting in the work, actually being on the ground with with his constituents even after if they voted for him or not, um, and taking our responsibility of what he said he would do, and realistically, living ability for people to afford to live in New York City is the biggest, realistically, the biggest thing. On top of jobs, but housing, you got to be able to have a affordable housing, but also a livable housing. Because there's people that are living in housing that is basically unlivable. Like people shouldn't be living in it, and that's the situation that we have been dealing with for over 30 years. So it is a breath of fresh air to see a mayor who is in his 30s um, battle situations that are as old as him, things that have been going on in New York City for as long as he's been alive. He's only 36 years old. So yeah, it speaks volumes to what socialism actually can do, and how progressive it actually is. When folks are that are involved in it want to see it successfully be be practiced. Um, I feel like there's a lot of there is a he's had a lot of people talking about his way of managing his position, and I feel like it's good to see someone actually putting in groundwork, and not just trying to get into a seat, into a comfortable position, as a mayor or a governor or whatever, to just to then sell the people out. So it's really it's gratifying, and I appreciate the New Yorkers for getting out and voting. Local New Yorkers and transplants, because that's the other part about why Mudafi won is because Zoran won because not only was he loved by OG New Yorkers, but also people that are transporting, themselves or newly finding New York as a home. So this is also speaking to folks that were born outside this country. You know what I mean? So um, yeah, you don't have to be a natural citizen to be able to be progressive in America in a great way. So I feel like it's definitely going against that narrative of immigrants don't contribute to the United States. Um, yeah.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
And that's what we need. I'm in South Carolina, so of course the system down here is going to do what is genuine own interest, as we all know. And we have 9 Republican votes to discharge a bill to extend the affordable subsidies. And of course, you had some Republicans who voted against it, and then you had some that voted. Is it's going to go to Senate, and we know what Republicans will do next. It it is important that we understand how legislation works. Yes, it passed amazing, all got in line and Republicans followed and said, hey, I'm not going to jeopardize anything. I'm going to go on ahead and we're going to extend this because people need healthcare in this country. And we have seen things skyrocket within this year. January 1st, 2026, premiums have begun to skyrocket. People are now having to pay co-pays, as I was discussing with Now. It's the time my mom is having to pay a pay, which she should not have to. Her insurance covers that. Any medications or anything, she should not have to pay anything. And that's for anybody. And I can remember Chef Ladybug saying that she had to pay for her prescriptions and it was lower the first time. Now it went up. So you're going to see things start to spike and go up as it is now. As he says that, oh, America is great and the economy is doing what it's supposed to be doing. No, it's not. The GDP is not doing what it's supposed to be doing. Losing jobs. And again, last year, 300,000 Black women lost jobs regime. And that is the real truth. So I've got the names of the Republicans. Shout outs to them to be done, doing the right thing. But I also have to depend on healthcare. Your constituents depend on you doing the right thing. And whether y'all would go ahead and cower and bend the knee to Donald Trump, we need fighters. So the election and the race in Texas is what people have their eyes on. And that is Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett and James Tallarico. Love James Tallarico, but I want my girl Jasmine to win this one. James Tallarico is a nice guy, yes, but right now we need fighters. We don't need nice guys out here right now because they're not being nice. They're being ruthless. They're not playing by the rules. And with that being said, you have to get down and dirty in the mud with them. You got to fight fire with fire, which is what Gavin Newsom did in LA when they passed Prop 50. So it's important that you play the same game that they're playing, which is why people wanted Mom Donnie in New York where now's the time is at, because this old outdated system of doing things and being buddy buddy and going across the other side of the aisle and trying to reach out to get them, and you're literally begging them, no, they're not going to do it because their loyalty lies with Donald Trump. And today we're going to do an in-depth discussion on fascism and the rise of Nazis and the beginning of persecution, which is what we're seeing right now, what's going on in Minnesota. But before I get to that, about Letitia James, who's also where now's the regime, Letitia James, but they're going at her hairstylist, y'all. What for? There's no evidence. Almost every case that you try to present to the court, she's won every court case. So why are you going after this woman's hairstylist? But let me see if I can find that story. In the meantime, between time, yesterday was the Golden Globe Awards, and a lot of celebrities took to the microphone to voice their opinion right there on CBS. And CBS is a big corporation who bent the knee and capitulated to Donald Trump. The Seat Caught documentary that he did not want you to see on 60 Minutes that was supposed to air, scrapped because of Trump's orders. On to all of the ones on their network calling them out to their face. In power that you need to go to. The big heads, the bigger ups who are in power. Those are the ones that you should be going after. They're the ones who have the power. Shout outs to Deshaun, my colleague Deshaun. Yes, and I know you got a lot to say because, baby, I do too. I've been holding it in this weekend. I've been having to rest and recharge. But it's been a whole lot going on in, and not only Minnesota, but Portland as well too. These ICE raids and breaking news. I just got breaking news from Aaron Piernes that Vice President of the United States of America, JD Vance, literally sit up there and say, "We're going to go do this door to door."
Yep. They're doing it in LA.
Now Republicans are starting to break. Republicans are starting to break. No, don't break now because you are complicit in fascism. I have a couple stories. Now he's trying to investigate the Fed chair.
It's breaking with Republicans as it relates to this Jerome Powell investigation from Trump, because you now have a second Republican come out openly suggesting that senators should investigate the Trump DOJ. That's what Lisa Murkowski said today. Follows Tom Tillis saying that he will not vote for any Federal Reserve nominee. Murkowski also says that that's a good idea. We from Trump until this investigation is over. But you even have conservative Republicans. Roger Marshall from Kansas says that he thinks this might be just Trump trolling Powell. Now a criminal investigation is possibly trolling, but that
You stop there. This fool is not trolling. When Donald Trump says something, I want y'all to believe it. When this man said that there's going to be mass deportations on day one, what did he do when he got in office his first day?
Yeah, he kept his word.
Wrapping up on the
Mm-hmm.
saying, oh, well, we're going to go on ahead and capitulate and bend the knee as well also. It's like a little glitch. YouTube has been tripping, and it's not only in my live, y'all. So if you glitch in and out, let me know. But we're going to keep the show going because it is so much that has happened throughout this week. You own people, Trump. That is white. Go down there. Yeah, we're going to talk about Venezuela and his power grab. And I'm going to take y'all back in history. So doing is straight out of Mein Kampf, Adolf Hitler's book, which his first wife, Ivana Trump, said he had Mein Kampf right there on the nightstand, right there on their bed nightstand. So how convenient that you would follow the playbook, but he admires adversaries. We'll get into that later. But wanting to fire the man who is letting us know the job rates, letting us know whether things are going up, whether things are going down. You want to fire Jerome Powell. He's been trying to fire this man. And word on the curb is that him and Kristi Noem also have some beef going on behind the scenes as well too. He can't stand her ass.
Yeah, she started speaking up.
But it's another thing. These ICE raids. If I can find that story on Aaron Parnas's page, Mark Kelly also just sued Pete Kegsbreath, who is the head of what? DHS? I'm not calling it the Department of War. ICE and Department of Homeland Security expand drone capabilities.
Yes.
So as we're sitting down comfortably in our homes right now, what do you think those drones are going to do? Why do you think they've got our data?
Mm-hmm.
Trump says the civil rights led to white people being treated very badly. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
Trump says that he regrets not ordering national 2020. That's been your plan. That's been your plan. Why do you want data? ICE agents pointed a gun at a pastor and released him and said, after you're white anyway, you wouldn't be any fun. Republican senator blocks all Federal Reserve nominations after Trump goes after Jerome Powell. Oh yeah. He's the acting president of Venezuela. He posted that on Truth Social. Oh yeah. There's so much going on in Iran. Is America great yet? NATO discusses putting troops in Greenland to calm the U.S. threat. I wonder why. I wonder why. This is what's all been going on throughout this week. This is how fascism works. They put enough out there, they flood the zone and they distract you to the point where you can't keep up with anything that's going on. That's what fascists do. And Steve Bannon even said it himself that, hey, they want you to be tired. They want you to be defeated. We know what's coming, and I predicted it, and I told Deshaun yesterday for a moment. But we know exactly what's coming. Martial law, ladies and gentlemen. What did he say in that meeting with President Zelensky? And President Zelensky said, hey, if there's a war, there won't be an election or whatever. And then he repeated that same sentiment. Didn't Kamala say he does shit like that? When Laura Loomer got in his ear at that debate, what did he utter about Haitian Americans in Springfield, Ohio on stage? And I'm not even
They,
going to repeat it.
he said that they eat cats and
He said that
dogs.
they cat and dog.
Exactly. So if you tell
Like,
this fucker something, he's going to go back and he's going to repeat the same exact thing. And then his base is going to go and listen to the same exact thing. Do y'all see how indoctrination works? It's the same thing Hitler did in Germany. The Jewish people are bad people. They're very bad people. They're poisoning the blood. Sure did, Deshaun. Yep. Innocent people unalived that lost their lives. Renee Good, Keith Porter, two. And as it pertains to say her name, that was predominantly for unarmed by police, if you want to be technical about it. But yes, I don't know where she stood politically, but I know that this woman didn't deserve to lose her life for doing the right thing.
yeah, for
They are
surveillancing,
now,
because realistically,
yes,
what she was doing is surveillancing as a citizen. So it's just like the fact that they're trying to switch it over to like, oh yeah, she was violating, like violating the officer's safety. You feel me? Like it's super crazy. Like to say that these ICE, like we literally seen it from two point of views, from them basically really antagonizing.
exactly, and that's what they're doing. And once they antagonize us, black people, we take it to the streets because they know we are reactive. Right now, we're not being reactive. We're being calm and sensible and strategic. But if they come up on your property, you know what to do. Just like they can use the Second Amendment right, and they say, "Oh well, it's my right, it's my liberty, it's our liberty too." This is not Jim Crow.
They they want it to be 1960. Yeah, yeah. I said Franklin Roosevelt was crazy too. That's what I said. It's a, like we have historically seen a lot of this repeat itself. I don't know if Miss Stevie's frozen. Is she frozen for y'all? Yeah, they YouTube